To begin creating your digital escape room using OneNote, what we're going to do is log into Office 365. So this way that the OneNote is stored in OneDrive. So what you're going to do if you've logged into Office 365 is I'm going to go over to OneDrive, and then if you have a folder system and you want to create this OneNote within a folder, you can do that. I'm just going to create it generically in my OneDrive folder, and I'm going to click on New. Now you'll notice before I do anything here, this OneNote notebook that I'm creating to do this digital escape room is a traditional OneNote notebook. It is not a class notebook. It doesn't have the content library collaboration space. That is not what you would want to use for this particular instance of what we're going to be creating. So what you're going to do is come down to New, come down to OneNote notebook. You're going to enter a name for your notebook, whatever you want to call it, and you can be specific depending on your content. And then you can click Create. So now we have the online version of the notebook appearing, and what we're going to do is we're going to launch this into the desktop version just so that we can work with some of the other tools that are available. So we're going to click Open in OneNote, and then we are going to sync this notebook down to our computers. Okay, so now that we have created our OneNote notebook that we're going to use for the digital escape room, and we have downloaded it to OneNote, I'm using OneNote 2016, now we can start to build the content of it. So traditionally OneNote notebook has one blank section, and you're going to create additional sections for each of the problems that you want your students to solve. You don't have to match exactly the way mine was, but the first page generally is an informational page about what the task is going to be or the story that they're going to be sort of walking through, almost like a traditional web quest in a way. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. Like I said, I've seen math teachers just have math problems, one problem per page. That gets a little bit more difficult that they have to get through in order to get to the end results. So I would right click on this and I would rename this, and you can call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call this Welcome. And then on here on your first page is where you would put all the content that you want your students to read. You can embed videos if you wish. You can put pictures on here or links to other websites that the students are going to be able to use in order to work through this escape room. I'm not going to put any content on here, but I do want to show you how to lock sections so that you can start to build your room. So the second step that you're going to do after you have created your first page will require the students to put in some kind of password in order to begin. So let's say, for example, this is problem 1. So we have the section here. On the welcome page, the students will read what they need to read. They will not be able to access problem 1 until they enter in an answer to a question that you have on your welcome page. And this doesn't necessarily have to be related to the task at hand. It can be just some kind of trivia or something like that. So for example, on the one that I showed you before, it was the last name of my favorite football player. So here's a quick example on my welcome page. To begin your quest, click on problem 1. You will be asked to enter a password. The password to begin problem 1 is the last name of Robinson's favorite baseball player. So right now, if I clicked on problem 1, I can access it. I don't have any content on it, but I would be able to read anything that's on here. And we need to password protect this so that the students can't see it until they answer the question from the welcome page correctly. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is right click on the section that we created, and then there's going to be an option that says password protect this section. So when you click on that, you'll get a little bar over here where it says set password. So you click set password. Now, one thing you have to remember with this password protection is if you don't remember the answer or you misspell it twice where it asks you to enter the password, there is no way to retrieve it. And they tell you that down here. There is no forgot password link on here. You have to remember it. So if you're not sure of the answers or you think you might forget as you're creating the problems and password protecting them, you might want to write it down somewhere, put it somewhere safe so that you'll be able to do it should you forget anything. So we're just going to put in the last name of Miss Robin's favorite football player, and you should be specific with the students. If capitals are part of your passwords, you should let them know that maybe in your welcome page, and then we click OK. So now when the students read the welcome page and they are prompted to go to problem 1 page, they will be prompted to enter a password. They won't automatically go to this page. So that's what you're going to do for each one of these. So now that we're on problem 1, you would put the content for problem 1. What do the students have to solve? What do they have to do? Any resources they need? And then present them with a question of some kind that they're going to need to answer in order to move on to problem 2. So we're going to basically just be working with sections here. We're not going to be adding additional pages. You can do that, but for our purposes, we're just going to be doing it this way. Okay, so those are the basic elements that you're going to need to begin building your escape room, is how to create it, and then how to download it, and then how to password protect your sections.